How's it going, everybody? Adrian here from the Gaming Observer, and welcome back to your daily news update for Monday, September the 28th. Folks, I hope you had a tremendous weekend. I am going to wrap up the weekend of news for you here. However, I would say that there wasn't any major stories that I need to go all that in-depth on, so I'm kind of just gonna give this to you in a pretty free-flow format. Let's jump in. Okay, so probably the biggest thing was the announcement of Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, so a brand new video game for you to play. And it's going to be arriving on most consoles and PC in early 2021. If you don't know, Dynasty Warriors has like this offshoot series called Empires, and from my understanding, it's a more strategic version of the series, where Dynasty Warriors is more of a real-time action game. The game is also going to support 2-player online co-op, which is pretty cool. After that, we have a game release. This is the Mafia Definitive Edition. And if you never saw the footage for this, it's actually pretty interesting. They did a lot of things to rehaul this game. The behind-the-scenes showed, like, new mocap and voice acting and stuff like that. And the reviews have it pretty well received. I think people are generally happy with it. There were a few reviewers who basically couldn't get over the fact that, you know, it's basically a glossy finish on an old game, but for the most part, people were happy. Moving on, let's look at Rocket League here for a moment. You might remember that Rocket League went free to play just recently, and that has paid off significantly for them, as the game has now hit 1 million concurrent players for the first time. Of course, I'm sure a number of those are returning players, myself included, but certainly a number of them are going to be new as well. People who can play the game for the first time, and you can even play the game without needing to pay for PlayStation Plus or Nintendo Switch Online, so that's going to bring in even more. Anyway, huge congrats to Psyonix for keeping that game going, making it more popular than ever. Here's another interesting story. So, Xbox has previously had some issues with iOS and getting Xcloud on there. If you don't know, Xcloud is their version of game streaming. You can currently do it on Android phones, but Apple did not want it on iOS because, you know, they felt like they needed to review every single game that would be available, which would mean that every single game would need to be separate in the app. Anyway, it looks like now they're going to be able to bring Xbox One streaming to your mobile phone. So before they had this whole cloud network, that's what Xcloud is. But in this case, if you already have an Xbox One and you just want to stream what you're playing to your phone, that's going to be possible soon. So it's in beta on Android, and it's going to arrive on iOS as well. So keep an eye out for that if that's relevant to you. Moving on here. If you're into The Last of Us, very popular video game, then you should check out all of the stuff that they did recently. They put out a bunch of new extras, I guess. So the game is going to be getting a board game, and that's going to be made by the same people who turned Bloodborne and God of War into board games. It's got a vinyl soundtrack now, so if you're into vinyl, then The Last of Us has that. And then they've got some other memorabilia as well. They've got statues, I think some themes for the PlayStation, stuff like that. On the other hand, if you look at a very different game with a very different tone, Animal Crossing is going to be getting a Halloween update. So it's going to have candy and costumes and pumpkins, all the usual Halloween stuff. And then after the Halloween update, it looks like the next major update is going to be in late November. So I mean, hey, if you haven't visited Animal Crossing in a while and you like Halloween, there's a good opportunity. I wonder if they'll have, like, trick-or-treating. I think that would be cute. And I guess the last thing that I'll touch on here is that Don't Nod Entertainment, who are the developers of Life is Strange, has opened a new studio in Montreal, and they're going to be making a new IP. And, you know, they've already made some games that are a different IP from Life is Strange. However, in this particular case, it is the team that is usually responsible for Life is Strange that is working on the new IP. So it sounds like Life is Strange is going to go on break for a little bit. They've said that they plan on going back to it at some point, but for now, they have their sights set elsewhere. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for today. I thought I would just change up the format a little bit because I don't think any of those really deserved a whole, 1 to 2 minute segment. So that'll be all. I'll be back with the news tomorrow, and until next time, happy gaming, everyone.